And we are live. Welcome to episode 25 of the RetroSlot podcast. This week we'll be talking about Lightning Force, or I keep messing it up and saying the Japanese name, Thunder Force 4. Yeah. I can't even say that correctly.
Lightning, Thunder, Force.
Yeah. Why even change the name from Thunder to Lightning?
I think because weren't the first three mainly in Japan? I'm not even 100%.
I don't know. I have no idea on the history of this one. This isn't a game that I was cognizant of when it came out. It's really a game that recently has gotten a lot of love on the internet. So I went back and checked out, and I was kind of blown away graphically by how good it looks. Actually, how are you, Jay?
Thunder Force 3 is on Genesis. I probably should have looked all this up for the show. Probably would have been a good idea. Anyways, I'm good. Our son Theo starts kindergarten tomorrow, or no, Thursday. We met his teacher today a couple of hours ago. She seems really nice, but I'm all a ball of anxiety around the COVID stuff. I'm like,
yeah,
let's give it an over. I feel like next episode we're gonna be like, yeah, 20 kids got COVID and they had to shut the school down. So that's what I'm anticipating. So hopefully it's not like that.
Oh my God!
Our best to stay safe, but
what are they even doing in the kindergarten level? There's no way you're getting those kids to wear masks, right?
No, actually, Theo is really good about wearing a mask.
Is he really?
We've been working on it for almost 2 years now, or whatever, a year and a half. So, the regulations are we are not allowed to step foot in the school. Period.
Okay.
You have to wear. If you're in the school, you have to wear a mask. It's required. They have I was talking to her about it. They have sanitation stations all over the place. The only time you can take off the kids can take off their masks are when they're eating and when they're on the playground. If they want to, and then they're gonna be losing those masks. So we're gonna 5-year-olds running around.
Have thousands of masks there, right?
They did say they have extra paper masks if kids lose them, but yeah, so they're trying to keep a minimum of 3 feet distance apart from kids. Good luck.
Yeah.
Can you imagine they're gonna grow up 20 years from now? Do you remember when we had to when we were kids, it was keep the Bible between you or whatever, and now it's gonna be you remember when we had to keep 3 feet between us?
Yeah.
We were dancing with the dances hey!
My fear is that we're raising a generation of kids who don't know human contact.
Which it's I mean, we're already kind of there we don't need COVID's help for that. So
right.
But yeah, I'm more nervous about that than I am about him actually going to school. I'm like, he's a kid, he'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah. First kid going to school is
strange times, man.
Golly. And he's not, I mean, they can't get the vaccination yet, so it's a whole thing.
Well, it's down to what, 16 you can get it?
12 and over, I think, maybe.
12 and over? Okay.
Something like that. But yeah. So middle schoolers, high schoolers are mostly good. How are you doing, man?
Good. Good. I don't have anything as stressful as that happening in my life right now. My big deal is planning a golf outing with friends. Golf is great because it's a COVID-safe sport because you're outside, right? There's already distance. There's built-in distance. My ball is way over there. Your ball is way over there. I'll see you in 10 minutes when we get to the green.
For as much time as I've spent whacking golf balls, I am not good at golf.
Yeah, it's hard to be good at golf, especially if you watch people who are good at golf on TV and realize even if you thought you were getting good, you weren't.
Yeah, no, I understand all the mechanics of it and stuff. I just can't get my body to do it.
Yeah,
I can hit the ball. Yeah, I can hit the ball, consistently, but it's about a 30% chance it's gonna go straight almost every time. It's gonna.
And did you play baseball when you were a kid?
Did I what?
Play baseball when you were a kid?
Yeah.
I think that's what fucks up everybody. Is you play baseball when you're a kid, and you kind of get that baseball swing down. So anytime you're given a stick, you use that baseball swing to hit whatever you're trying to hit. But that doesn't work for a golf ball.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would I keep my left arm straight? That's not enough force. I need to hit it harder.
Yeah.
Have you heard Robin Williams act on the like Robin Williams on Broadway where he goes on
No.
about golf? Oh my god, dude. Can you write this down for me? I want by the next episode, I want you to I'm giving Briar an assignment for anybody who's not watched this before. Robin Williams on Broadway, it's from like 2001. And he's got a whole shtick about golf. And it's like he's got like a thick Scottish accent. And he's talking about when they're making golf and how ridiculous it is. And you go whacking a ball into a gopher hole. Like, oh, you do that one time. Fuck no! 18 fucking times. Like it's just amazing. Oh,
There's a reason everybody drinks right the fuck after they're done. They walk directly to a bar.
Yeah. God, golf games take forever too.
Yeah, they do. I think more now than they used to. I don't know what it is about golfers. I don't know if it's that same like entitlement culture that's everywhere else, but people on the golf course now take forever. Like it's like,
really?
Well, I spent $50, so I'm taking my sweet ass time and enjoying this beautiful day. Like, yo, homie, I got shit to do in like 3.5 hours. Can we
only $50? Courses here are like 100 minimum.
Really?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I will say the one golf story that I have that I will always remember is the last time I went golfing. It was like, I don't know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. My buddy was graduating from college from like air flight school and stuff. And he had an ex-girlfriend who worked at a golf course. So he got us on like a fancy golf course to play. We ended up playing 9 holes for free, essentially.
Awesome.
We didn't even know what the dress code was. We showed up in jeans. They're like, you must be wearing nice shorts and a button shirt. We're like, who fucking cares? Jeez.
They do.
Yeah. So we're immediately drinking on hole 1. And yeah, we got to hole 3. We ended up playing best ball because all of us were not very good. So we needed 3 shots to get the ball in any decent area.
Right.
I think it was like hole 5. I don't remember. It was a par 5. I don't know, like 480 yards or something like that. I remember I hit the first one and it actually went straight and it probably went a good 200 plus yards. And both of theirs went off. And so one of my other buddies hit the next one. And then my buddy JSniperton, who's actually the creator of the name Sniperton, what was it? The third hit? The third hit, probably from like, I don't know, over 100 yards out. So he's using like an iron and he hits it and it's straight line straight for the hole. And the hole had this hill. And so when it literally rolled all the way up the hill, went on the green, it went straight into the hole. Like on our third cumulative shot. So
nice.
We hit best ball eagle and it was pretty amazing.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
One of my buddies going to this golf outing is famous for bringing a cooler filled with margarita mix and empty Dunkin' Donut cups. The paper ones with the tops.
I want to go golfing with you guys.
Yeah, man, he's cool. I like that dude. That was a fucking brilliant move.
Whose idea was it to let people driving golf carts be able to drink alcohol, though? It's just a bad idea.
A genius. A goddamn genius.
Oh. You ever see those
videos?
We should
memorialize that, man.
Flipping over and stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's good stuff.
There's those little tops on the golf carts. Those things don't do anything. They're not like roll bars on a race car.
No.
They crumple like paper, dude.
I got hit by a car on a golf cart. We were crossing the street, and we looked. Both of us looked both ways, right? There's 2 of us in there. Both of us looked both ways. We start going across the street, and this Mercedes SLR. You know those like really fucking expensive ass sports cars?
Yeah.
He was flying down this road, and he slammed on the brakes and slid into us, just enough to like knock our cart sideways, but fucked his car up because not only did he hit us, but then he hit the fence.
Oh, no.
It was a mess. It took forever. They let us finish a round, though.
At first, it was his fault, right?
Yeah, definitely his fault. We were in a
crosswalk.
There was a stop sign.
Jesus. Good lord. At first, when you said you got hit by a car in a golf course, I was like, "Why the fuck is there a car on the golf course?"
I mean, some dudes just do it different. I
Uh,
was in Florida.
Fuck this game! Just like driving on the course. Good lord.
I love
Rich
golf.
white
It's
people. No, I'm just
fun
kidding.
to
Sorry.
like have something so frivolous to do.
Yeah, right. Just go whack a tiny ball that you can't find in the woods.
Yeah, right?
I lived last golf thing. We lived on a golf course when I was in high school. It was like after my mom married my stepdad, and we lived in between like two holes. We lived on the golf course, and we weren't technically allowed to like use the golf course, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
But I would do it anyways because I didn't care. Um, but there was a lot of kids who would go into the woods in the neighborhood and like fish out all the balls, and they would like sell
yeah.
them back to the golfers in
Yeah,
between
they're
the holes.
fucking expensive.
Yeah, I was like, but they would sell them for $1 a ball, which is a great deal. Think about almost 20 years ago. Um,
Right? That's just good business for everybody. The golfer's getting this deal, the kid's getting some money. The only person getting fucked is the golf course, I guess. Because they're trying to sell balls in the clubhouse
yeah,
for
well,
like
it was
50
like in
bucks for
between.
12.
Yeah, it was like in between green, I don't know, 15 and 16. So by the time the golfers got there, they just had lost all their balls anyways. So
Yeah.
it's
I
whatever.
mean, I'm fucking drunk by the ninth hole. I don't know where the thing's going. I don't
I've
even
never
look.
played 18. I've never played 18. I've only ever
I'm one
played
of those
9.
guys. I don't even look for the ball. Like I'll do a drive by if I'm on a golf cart. But I'm like, lost
Where
forever.
is she?
Like it's basically the most littering I do is when I go to a golf cart and lose a bunch of fucking
Houses got
balls.
hit.
Hell yeah,
Like,
they
you live
do,
on a
man.
golf course, houses get hit,
All us
windows
out with
get
these
smashed.
big ass baseball swings, slicing the ball fucking like 45 degrees to the right.
Who
Anyhow,
invented who invented this?
that was the golf podcast for the week. We got some retro news though, and I'm actually really excited to talk about this because you did like some detective work. There's some like
There's some
some
spicy
digging
stuff
here.
here.
Yeah.
Well, that was copy paste, let's be honest. That
All right,
the
whatever.
paragraphs are copy paste.
We'll be talking about some people who did some detective work.
Yeah. There's some spicy stuff this week, man. I swear.
The first one, man, I didn't get to watch this movie. I was planning on watching this movie today because you posted this yesterday, and I was reading over it. I'm like, somebody made a Bring Back GoldenEye movie? What is
Yeah.
this?
There's actually, I think there's a first one too. This is like a sequel. There's a free movie called Bring Back Goldeneye released on YouTube like 3 days ago. Um, all it's like it's a total parody, right? It's not a serious movie. It's almost like Super Troopers kind of, but the
A film
production value,
classic.
yeah, production value's solid, for a movie. But it's everybody that worked on it is nobody's getting paid, which is crazy. And all proceeds, if you decide to donate or rent it or whatever, go straight to charity.
Amazing.
So it's pretty awesome. There's like a whole story on Nintendo Life about it, like a mockumentary. Basically, the whole thing is um they used to love playing GoldenEye as a kid, and you know, 20 years later, they're all reminiscent of it. And so they're trying to get the GoldenEye like championships back together. And so they're like, one dude is kind of contacting all of his old buddies, like, hey, let's get the old gang back together and stuff. I haven't watched it, but I
It's like
probably
Paper
will.
Tigers, but with GoldenEye instead of Kung Fu.
Yeah. Apparently, okay, so 2017, there was a mockumentary called Going for GoldenEye. So I think this is the sequel of that. And I think that
Okay.
had like the original championships that was supposed to be from 2017.
I'm
So
100% in. I really wanted to watch this before the podcast. I just ran out of time because of basically because of Lightning Force.
yeah, man, that game. Anyways, we'll talk about that soon. I'm excited to talk about it. So, yeah, that's on YouTube. At the channel name is Bringing Back Goldeneye. Literally, if you search "bringing back Goldeneye," Goldeneye is 2 words. Interesting. Full movie. It's like an hour and a half. Uh, it's a bargain. It's free.
That's awesome.
9 dislikes. Who the F?
Haters, man.
Crazy.
There's always
I hate
haters.
free shit.
One is the director's ex-girlfriend. One is somebody who got the scene cut out from the movie.
Somebody who didn't know they weren't getting paid.
Right? the main actor who's like, wait a minute, this is for charity?
All right.
What
So
else we got?
two more games are getting physical releases from the SNES era. Gym Power: The Lost Dimension and Stone Protectors, which
I've never
are
heard of
both.
either one of these.
I have Gym Power actually. I've never played it because my copy is sealed. I've never played Stone Protectors, but they're both um obviously 2D 16-bit side scrollers. Stone Protectors looks like it's the better game,
Is that the
but
one that looks like it's got the trolls in it?
yeah,
Is this
it is.
literally like a ripoff of the Trolls franchise?
Doubt it. No, they had a TV show called The Stone Protectors,
Did they?
cartoon show, I think. Yeah.
Because those look like trolls, right?
They do, yes.
Like you know the trolls that I'm talking about with the hair, like those
Oh,
little
yes.
plastic trolls with the hair.
Our
That is
kids
like,
are into the new a new troll movie series.
yeah,
Did you know that?
no,
So, it's
that's why they're
basically
bringing this back. Like we can rip those fuckers off twice.
the
We
new
got 'em
troll
back in
movies are all
1993.
about
We're gonna get them again, those fuckers.
they had no clue. But the new Trolls movies, I think you can watch them on, like, Netflix and stuff, but they have the hair and everything, and they just love to laugh and party and sing and all this stuff, and then there's God, what do they call them? There's a name for, like, the evil ones that are basically, like, giant, ugly trolls. Because the trolls in the movie are, like, really tiny, they live in trees, and these giant, ugly trolls eat the long-haired trolls, and so the premise is them kind of running away from them and kinda starting their own society out of, you know, that, and then eventually the big ugly trolls find them, and then they have to, like, you know, try to escape and all that.
Weird having kids, isn't it?
I may have watched it a few times, it's fine.
This is kind of neat. I like these re-releases. Have you heard of
Yeah.
this Funstock?
Yeah, so that's the company that's making them, I believe.
Okay. Have they made other releases?
Like 1 or 2? Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause I know there's been complaints about quality of reissues where like the silicone the silicon like wafer the cartridge is on will be like cut square instead of having beveled edges, so it can actually damage your Super Nintendo or Genesis, that kind of
Oh,
thing.
no.
So I don't know about these guys.
Yeah, it
Wait,
has the, no, it does, it looks like the SNES carts are the original little, like, oval hole instead of the, like, slidey part.
hmm.
I don't know how the hell to describe that, but it looks like they've done a handful of games in the past, so you can probably look up reviews. You can also
In the
get Jim
article
Power
that
apparently. Sorry, I
in
was
the
just gonna
art
say you can get Jim Power as an NES copy too.
in the article that you linked, Stone Protectors they have pictures of the box and everything, and the Genesis cartridge is shown with its label printed backward.
I do see that, yeah.
But it
It's
does say
about
artwork not final.
yeah, they're about $60 for the normal edition and about $100 for the special editions,
Hmm.
and they're both, like, in pounds, so it's an estimation.
If you know anything about who the hell the Stone Protectors are, please leave a note for us. I'd be
I feel like we have
curious.
to go watch some of the old show.
No, I wouldn't go that far. I've got a Bring Back Goldeneye movie to be watching.
I literally just there's a Stone Protectors intro, and they look like if Trolls and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had kids.
Yeah, so they came out in the 90s for sure.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Really trying to skirt that
Let's rip
IP
off
law.
yeah, right? No, seriously, like, let's rip off 2 of the most popular franchises.
Perfect. Can we get Transformers in here somehow? Maybe some
It's
G.I.
hilarious.
Joe?
They straight up they look like grown-up trolls. Like if trolls were buff football playing teenagers, that's what these are.
Like
It's
Muscle.
hilarious. Like what?
Remember Muscle, those little plastic wrestling figures?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
Imagine Muscle, but instead of being spelled out, it's just M period
Dot.
U period.
You
Yeah, it's
like,
weird.
what does that acronym stand for? Maybe you see. Uh, did you hear about the rumor that Nintendo's gonna be adding Game Boy and Game Boy Color titles to the
Yeah, I
Nintendo
have
Online
been hearing
library?
about this a lot. It's pretty
Exciting.
interesting.
It's good timing with the Analog Pocket supposed to be that's supposed to come out this month or something. It's supposed to
Yeah,
get no, October, excuse me, next month. It's supposed to get shipped out. It's
we'll see.
ridiculous. We haven't heard like any news on that in
No,
forever.
that's how they do,
But
though, right? It's like they just clam the fuck up until all of a sudden you get an email. It's shipping. Okay,
thanks.
thanks.
And they still haven't opened it up for pre-orders again, have they? They said they were gonna
No,
do that like
never have.
forever ago. Wow. What games do you think are gonna come to the Nintendo Online library for Game Boy or Game Boy Color? Or
A
hope.
bunch of junk that you never heard of, and then very few actual Nintendo published titles like Mario. Super Mario will be there, the first one with like that bouncy
Super Mario
ball.
Land.
Mario Land, yeah.
There's
I
2
bet
of
they'll
those.
put that one on there, the first one,
Yeah.
right? But they won't put the second one, or is it the third one?
Wario Land.
Is that Wario Land? They
Yeah.
won't put the like. It'll be years before we get like the full catalog of those, right? And then maybe Zelda,
Link's Awakening, since they've already
maybe,
released it on the Switch, so might as well.
yeah. And they are releasing a new Zelda this year, so maybe
Mhm.
they want like just more Zelda on there. I don't know.
I think they'll release the first Metroid or either just the first or just the second
That would be
because of
good. I mean,
Metroid
because the new
Dread.
Metroid is coming out too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and then a bunch of like random stuff that you never heard of, like they do, right?
Yeah. Maybe
That,
things that are
that's
redundant to stuff that's already out there, just the Game Boy version of it,
Yeah,
like
like the
Dr. Mario or
Castlevania
something.
stuff that's in the Castlevania
Castlevania.
collection. Although I bet they can't do that because they'd have to get a license from Konami to do it, and Konami's
Mm,
not going to do it, right? There's no Konami games in the NES or Super Nintendo stuff
mm. Wonder why.
because they're going to sell you the collections, the Castlevania collection and the Contra collection, right?
That's right. Yeah. So how do you think like Limited Run got the license for that
For what?
collection?
Because
Castlevania stuff.
they're just printing copies for Konami, right? Konami obviously didn't see that to be worthwhile actually doing a a physical copy for, but it must have sold
Mhm.
well enough or limited run begged hard enough to get them to do a physical copy, which I ordered. I think I got. I don't know. I don't think I got that yet, but I did order it even though I already have the digital.
I still have been able to hold out from Limited Run stuff, but it's hard.
It is hard.
I want everything.
Yeah.
It's so difficult.
That's another one of those companies. You order something and then like 8 months later it shows up in the mail. You're like, I fucking forgot I ordered this. Like straight up.
Merry Christmas to me.
Yeah.
Do they charge you when you pre-order it or when they ship it?
They charge you when you pre-order it.
Okay. I personally prefer that, but I know a lot of people don't.
I like to have my money in my bank account making interest for me.
Yeah.
Not, or, I prefer it that way. It doesn't bug me that much with limited run because it's usually like $30 to $40. But with analog, it's more. There was a point where I owed them like $1,000. Right, they had like $1,000 worth of
Yeah.
my money that I hadn't
Yeah.
received any product for months.
Yeah. I prefer when I make the decision to buy something, I want the money to come out then. Not like I made the decision to buy something and then 6 months later it gets taken out of my account when I'm not prepared for it. Like, oh shit, now I got to move
Yeah,
other money around.
I usually just put it on credit card anyway.
Yeah. True.
If I'm not paying for something right now, if it's gonna come out randomly sometime, that's not going to my debit card.
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't even know if I have a debit card right now, to be honest. I probably do. For those, because I imagine there's some UK listeners here. There was a show from long ago called Game Masters that apparently is returning. And it's like, I want this in the States. It's like a video game show, and they would talk about, all the video games kind of coming out and information, tips, tricks, and stuff like that. And then they would have a competition on a specific game. Like, think of, they referenced The Wizard, with Super Mario 3, how they did the competition and stuff. So
Yeah.
there's literally, you can watch the first episode on YouTube of Game Masters, and I think there was a few seasons.
This
Oh,
is
from
crazy.
92
This
to
is like
98.
high production value.
Yeah, from 92 to 98, they had that show going.
Wow.
Makes me jealous. I want video game television to come back.
Well, we got YouTube now.
It's true.
There used to be nothing, though, right?
Mm.
There was, what was that? Digital something with Tommy Tellerico. He used to do a TV show. Digital Underground or something. And then there was the Tech TV show. What was that? Like with
Like a G4 TV kind of thing?
Yeah, G4. But there was that one long running series they had forever
On
with
Spike?
no, on G4.
Okay.
It was Tech TV before that. God, I can't remember. I can remember the faces of the hosts, but I can't remember the name of the show.
Did you have to have like a special subscription on your TV, like cable, to get that channel?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
I ever saw that. I remember the Nickelodeon video game show from when I was a kid.
What was that?
Oh man, what was it called? We literally have talked about this before.
Was that a competition show as well? Like kids would
Nick
compete in
Arcade.
video games?
Yes. Yes. So they'd have like arcade cabinets, and they had like two teams, I think of two, that would come out, and they'd compete on like video game trivia and stuff, and then they'd compete like an actual cabinet and see who got the high score.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, it's weird that there was like no video game related TV content for so long in the US. Like almost none. Now it's like, look how popular gaming is on YouTube now. And nobody thought to capitalize on that?
Right.
Well, I guess G4 did, right? But they, for some reason, they never made it.
Yeah.
That's weird. Why did that happen?
They didn't. I mean, probably they thought it was a fleeting market.
Yeah, clearly they were wrong.
Or they didn't want people. I'm trying to think of the logic. So, like, if people enjoy video games and you get them all excited about video games, they're going to turn off the TV and play video games. So maybe they didn't want to like push you to their competitor.
They were wrong. I mean, look at Twitch, look at YouTube. They fucked it up. Like, clearly they were wrong.
Yeah.
They couldn't have been more wrong. I mean, now it's like billion-dollar industries, right? Just making content around video games, not the video games themselves. Just making fucking video content for video games. It's like an industry on itself. It's insane.
Yeah.
How did this happen? Well, how is this world we live in?
I mean, it's the stuff we enjoyed as kids, and now we're the adults in control.
Yeah.
I just fear for our future. I mean, video games are always going to be a thing, but like, God, when I listen to some of the music that's out now, because I used to love rap and hip. I mean, I still love rap and hip hop, but not the majority of today's rap and hip hop.
Yeah.
And I just hear some of the stuff, and it just, and then I see kids rapping to it and stuff. I'm like, I'm that parent. I'm that turn that racket off. Like,
You're just having a week.
Yeah, it's fine.
Send your kid off to kindergarten.
I'm not even 40 yet. All right. So you remember we talked about, I don't remember how long ago, how many episodes ago it was. We talked about that physical accessory for the Game Boy, the Work Boy. You remember that thing?
Right. Yeah.
And there was like a whole documentary on it, and somebody owned one. Somebody must have seen that and be like, that's a great idea. I'm going to make a Kickstarter and develop a physical cartridge for your Game Boy to have a calculator on it on your OG original Game Boy.
Yeah.
And
somebody
called the Game Boy Productivity Suite.
This thing has not been funded yet, right?
No, it is.
Oh, it has?
Like
Oh, yeah,
300%
okay.
funded. I mean, the goal was only like $1,600 and
Okay,
it's at
yeah, you're
about
right. They got
6,000.
almost 6,000.
So it's premised on a joke.
Yeah.
Like it's not really meant to be super serious, but you can literally get a physical cartridge, and I'm pretty sure the cartridge is just the calculator, and then everything else is digital. Because there's like a calendar and uh, what else is there? Calendar, notepad, clock. There is one of the things that says it's a paperweight. It's a paperweight app. You turn it on, you can literally have energy saving paperweight app that doesn't require your console to
This
be
dude's a
on.
genius. I'm pledging money on this. I want this.
I thought it was hilarious.
He sold me. The paperweight sold me.
Yeah. So it's called the GB Productivity Suite by Liam Gallagher on Kickstarter with 32 days to go.
And
Uh,
it is a brand new. You could buy a brand new Game Boy cartridge that has these apps on it for your
yeah.
Game Boy. I love it.
And
It's
there's
funny.
like okay, so there's the digital edition, there's the physical edition, and then there's the physical edition with box and manual.
Which that's the one you got to get.
Yeah, and then the executive decision edition, which the most expensive edition's only like $36. The physical one's like 25. So it's pretty cheap. Like I'm 100% sure this is like one dude doing all of this, but that's I mean that's a serious it's a serious thing undertaking
That's
that
not
he's
enough
doing.
money to do this, though, right? Six
No, I
thousand
don't think
dollars.
so.
I don't think so
Like to
either.
develop the physical cartridges, are you kidding me?
No way. If it ever shows up on your doorstep, it's gonna be like Avery labeled
I mean, it's gonna look
cartridges.
like they have those really cheap Game Boy, like, Chinese knockoffs and stuff. There
Yeah,
probably is a way to do this cheap.
yeah.
There's gotta be.
That's
Otherwise,
funny
those
though.
companies wouldn't be making any money. So, it's probably a passion project. He's not gonna be profiting very much from it at all, I'm sure.
It's funny though.
Hilarious. Um,
This next one I saw coming a mile away.
yeah, so we talked about this a while ago. There was a Kickstarter about the it was literally when we did what was it? Metroid, because it was
Yeah,
very like it worked with what we were talking about. So the guides, the hand-drawn guides for Zelda, Metroid, and Contra slash Ninja Gaiden have been it's been canceled. And for the reason that you expect, licensing through Nintendo. But I would say it's probably 70% dead, but there probably is still a way that he can release these if he adheres to some guidelines or something. So he said that he's going to try to figure it out. But I mean, this thing raised over $300,000.
yeah. I mean, they are fucking cool.
Yeah, I
Like
don't
real
think it
good.
should be a licensing issue because it's parody. It's
Yeah.
interpretation. So there's got to be something specific that's a licensing issue that maybe he can.
I mean, people used to release unofficial guides to games. So
Yeah,
there's got to be a way to do this, but it might be that any form of legal pressure is too much for this guy to really handle,
right. Because it's
you
one
know?
dude.
Yeah.
Sure.
He did tweet out though that he's working with the company that has an issue with it to still try and make it happen. So
Yeah.
hopefully he does, because this is like really fantastic, like a
Yeah.
really cool thing that I'd really like to get my hands on. To be honest with you,
Did you end up doing the
no, I
Kickstarter
probably
already?
said I was going to do it and then forgot after the show, just like
Yeah.
I'll do with that other one that we were just talking about.
Yeah. Out of sight, out of mind. Yep.
Right.
That's kind of a bummer.
Hopefully it
There
works out.
is another Kickstarter called Goodbye Galaxy that is on Kickstarter, and it's uh, kind of a Game Boy Advance style 16-bit 2D kind of side-scrolling adventure game, and it's raised over $200,000 of its original like 25K goal, and it looks amazing. And the reason that it's in the news is because there's a free demo that you can download on any platform or like, on PC ROM. You could put it on a flash card, put it on a Game Boy, and play it. But this thing, I think we've seen it before for like a minute. It looks awesome. So you're like this little dog in a space suit, and it's Metroidvania style 2D platformer, and literally you can pre-order with like you can either pre-order the Game Boy Advance version or the Switch version. There's even Japanese style box that you can get, and then there's like a plushie too that you can get as a pre-order. Pretty cool.
Hmm.
I don't know. I love stuff like this too.
Yeah,
Talking
that's
about
neat.
physical releases. And let's see here. Did you hear about the Donkey Kong Play and Watch that sold at auction?
No.
No. Okay, so Donkey Kong Play and Watch, there was over like 20 million of those that were sold.
Uh-huh.
And what's his name? The creator of it, Gunpei Yokoi, and let's see, Momose and Ishida, they wanted to have like an anniversary edition made. So there's not even a number of how many of these were produced. So it's like a super rare console. It's a 20 million anniversary Donkey Kong Game and Watch multi-screen, and it was sold at auction for about $9,000, which by all accounts everybody's saying is a bargain because this is one of those like super rare museum quality pieces that somebody got a hold of.
Hmm.
Like it's one of the first special edition consoles ever made for video gaming. Pretty crazy.
It's a lot of money for a Game & Watch.
Yeah. But a lot of like collectors and stuff are saying that they would have paid a lot more had they known about it.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. So the designer of the next piece of information, the designer of the NES, like the physical boxes, NES, SNES, Lance Barr passed away.
Sad.
Or excuse me, not passed away. I'm a jerk. Retired. Retired after
Oh.
almost 40 years.
Well,
Wow.
congratulations.
Damn it. Retired. Retired. This just in, local podcast co-host makes a grave error. Lance
That's
Ball
good.
retired after almost 40 years. I mean, with everything going on, I don't know why that went into my head. So he was
Yeah.
working for Nintendo for almost 40 years.
That's interesting. So he worked for Nintendo, but this is an American who designed the NES and the Super Nintendo, not obviously the Famicom or the
Right.
Super Famicom. So I didn't know that those were actually designed. Like I don't know. I guess I knew that they were designed by Nintendo of America, but Lance Barr, he's the guy who did it. I didn't know that.
He also designed like the Zapper, the NES Advantage controller, and the NES Max, as well as the top loading NES and the
The
Wishbone
Junior,
controller.
the
Yeah.
Wishbone controller sucked.
Really?
Yeah,
I still want to get a top loader. Like one of the things I want to get is a top loader in box, like mint in box. Pretty
that can't be
expensive.
hard to do. Is it expensive?
I
Oh, you
get
know why they're
Yeah,
expensive? Because the guys who like to mod consoles, that's like the best version of the NES to mod.
really.
Yeah. And so they used to be a dime a dozen. Nobody wanted them. Everybody wanted the front loader toaster.
Mm,
But once everybody realized that actually this one actually puts out much better video quality, and actually you don't have to like fuck with it constantly to get the cartridge to work in it. But
yeah.
now that there's stuff like the analog and the AVS, I don't know if that's still true.
Yeah.
Like I'd
I
rather
think the
have a
top
analog.
Yeah. The top loader with with one Wishbone controller goes for somewhere in like the 120 to 150 range.
Oh, that's
But
not that bad.
a mint in box one like is mint in Complete in box is probably 250 plus. Mint in box, you're probably looking at 4 or 500.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, like
I mean, how many people have a mint
slightly.
box Nintendo?
No, I know
Right?
they're pretty tough to find.
I would imagine.
All right. Now we get to the real juicy stuff.
Yeah, this is crazy.
So we've been talking about the WADA and heritage kind of controversy that's going on right now, where what was his name? Carl Jobst had
Yeah.
put out the video a couple of weeks ago where he was basically going across all the different accounts of potential market manipulation and coercion and stuff like that. There now has been a response from WADA basically saying it was all false. Like, no,
The video from Carl Jobst.
yeah,
Jobst.
like no specific accounts on what exactly was false or anything. They're like, so their quote is WADA Games is the trusted leader in collectible video game grading, and we're honored to play a key role in this booming industry that we're incredibly passionate about. We're humbled by the support of our thousands of customers who trust us to provide accurate and transparent grading. The claims in this video are completely baseless and defamatory, and it is unfortunate that Mr. Jobs did not contact us to give us the opportunity to correct him. Of course he didn't. Why would he do that? So I believe and Heritage Auctions also responded basically saying the same thing, and they're like, we would also invite Mr. Jobst out to our headquarters to further speak to leadership and show him a
So
tour
we
of our
could poison
operation.
him.
Yeah, yeah, like that, or try to like bribe him or get on his good side, or like what is the motivation there? Like what is that going to change? He was just doing investigative, reporting and journalism. Like, what's their goal there? Do you think?
What I was hoping when we talked about this 2 weeks ago, what I was hoping was that video would spur some like other media outlets to look into this, right? Because
Hmm.
this phenomenon has made like big time national news, right? When Super Mario goes for $1 million, like even CNN is doing they're doing pieces on it, right? They're not doing a deep dive into what's going on in the retro gaming world that's causing this, but they're like, "Hey, what the fuck? Super Mario just went for $1 million. They sold like 70 millions of those. Why does one of them $1 million?"
Yeah.
But that was like the end of the coverage, right? Nobody actually looked into this, and at least like on that level, right? There was no CNN like deep dive into WADA and Heritage Auctions. There was nothing coming from the New York Times or LA Times or something like that. And then when this video came out from, was it his name was Carl Jobst?
Yeah.
Like he made a compelling case as to why this whole setup is fraudulent. But like it's one source. So again, you can't believe it's hard for me to believe this one dude all on his own, right? Because I don't know Carl personally. So and I wasn't aware of him before you shared that video. So it's like this seems like he makes a compelling argument, but I've seen videos about UFOs that have made me really kind of question everything, right? So it's
Yeah.
like one person's viewpoint isn't enough. You got to have backup. You got to have other people. Like there's got to be like more than this one dude. These guys denying it doesn't surprise me at all, especially like if it's true, then of course they're going to deny it. If it's not true, of course they're going to deny it. So that doesn't lead to credibility either way, right?
Yeah.
So it's still up in the air, in my opinion. What do you think?
To be fair, all the information from Carl Jobst, it was all public information. It was all available on the internet for search or in SEC filings that were all public. Some of the, subjective accounts of, I believe they had like Pat the NES Punk recalls something where the dude that I'm about to talk about, Mark Haspel, was actually like carrying a stack of sealed games over to the WADA podium and stuff. And so the next thing we're gonna talk about will like circle back around to this a little bit, but I wouldn't. I mean, I think there's something fishy going on 100%.
It seems like it.
Whether The motivation of some of there was, like, some news clippings in that long video where, the, kind of the head of WADA was responding like, "Yeah, I could see that these are gonna be ending up going for more money, or they're we're just getting started." That kind of thing is kind of subjective opinion as to whether or not that's, um, knowledged, or, that they are aware that they were manipulating the market in that scenario, but there definitely is some fishy stuff going on as far as like who's involved, their history, what they're doing with these games, the fact that they're not releasing population reports. All that stuff is really concerning and very fishy, in my opinion. Whether it's illegal or not, I guess is to be seen, but it's that long video, the Carl Jobst video, is making some serious waves, and people are like paying attention. I do think it's going to
Good.
affect the market. And, even companies like VGA are getting involved now. Did you see they actually had a response? I didn't put it in here. VGA is
Who's
like,
VGA?
"Hey." VGA is the other major video game grading association. They were the ones that were around way before WADA came out, and the ones that aren't involved in a auction house. Um, However, they're like, "Hey, we're upgrading our facilities. We're gonna make our website much better, and we will be releasing population reports." So VGA is like trying to capitalize on this opportunity to corner the market, a bit more, and take some of the folks that are scared of WADA away.
Yeah. There's so much money in this right now that like you can see like so many clear avenues for why people would want to be shady to profit from this, whether you've got games that you're trying to drive the prices up on, or if you just see that there's money to be made off of the trade of these games, and like they charge a huge percentage, right? Like Heritage Auctions charges a huge percentage, and Wada charges a bunch of money to get the games graded. So like there's
Mhm.
just a ton of money involved in all this. Like you can see why there's like so much motivation to do some shady shit. I don't know. It sucks though too because all of this stuff, I feel like it really like once you see all these like sky high prices, like it kind of like it puts a tamper down on the motivation to like go to a local game store and like see what's in the $5 bin, because if all you hear about is $1 million Mario's, you're like, well, fuck, all of them must be expensive now, right? So like, why am I going to go over to that retro game store or whatever? You know,
Right.
I just feel like it. I don't know. Maybe in some ways it makes the collector the collecting kind of hobby more attractive for people to know there's a bunch of money in it if you get lucky. But if you're just in it to like collect old games and play them sometimes, and you see like these crazy prices, it's definitely demotivating.
Yeah. I do think there's going to be a crash soon as far as like game values have already cooled off since last year a lot. Um, but I don't think that sealed games are necessarily going to cool off the same way, and like rare stuff you can't come by. But I don't think that like I honestly don't think that the $1 million mark is gonna be happening a lot, unless it is a very rare variant of a game kind of thing.
And the sealed
Fact
game is kind of a different thing than like the
Yeah,
general hobbyist, right? Like
yeah.
it's
Generally,
a
yeah.
it's a different market, really. Like if I came across a sealed game of something that I really loved, I'd be pretty excited. But if I found out it was worth $1,000, I'd be like, adios.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny though because, like, there are people in the collector's circle that they'll, like, see sealed games and they're like, "Well, why don't you just open it and play it? Because that's what it's meant for." It's like,
Yeah.
you want me to take this game that's worth $5,000 and open it to make it worth 200 when I could just
When
go
I could
buy
play
a
the free one I
$200 copy.
downloaded on an
Yeah,
emulator.
when I could just go buy a $50 card if I just wanted to play it, maybe
Yeah.
I like it's weird when people like I don't know. It's like, why would I throw money away like that? That doesn't make any
Yeah, that's
sense.
some kind of weird, like, I don't know if that's virtue signaling or
Yeah,
what it is, but that's
like
a weird
gatekeeping
take.
type stuff. Yeah. But kind of moving on to a similar side story, Mark Haspel, who is one of the like board members of WADA. has been found to be selling games on eBay that are WATA graded.
I'm so shocked.
And there's literally, like, on WATA I believe they have it, like, in WATA's bylaws where if you're, an employee or board director or whatever, you're not supposed to be selling games that, if you work there, essentially. And
Yeah, I
all
see the
of the
conflict of interest.
yeah, so there's a story about a guy, Seth Abramson, and he, like, personally had been buying some Atari games on eBay, and apparently, like, his wife or he was cleaning out something and they found a yellow sticky note, and before the Carl Jobst story came out, they wouldn't have thought anything of it, but he read it and it literally has, like, "Email Mark Haspel for more games," like, and it has his email. And then he goes back and finds some shipping boxes, and it literally says, like, Mark Haspel, and it says comics and more or whatever, and it has, like, the address of the stores. There was 3 separate occasions when he bought Atari games from this account that were graded by WATA, under the $1,000 mark, so cheaper games. And he did all this digging
Oh yeah,
on this
the
story.
cheap stuff, under
Yeah.
$1,000.
So he did a bunch of digging. Uh, the website is what, Proof? So it's sethabramson.substack.com.
Yeah,
And he does a bunch of digging as to, like, the legitimacy of the business that's on the thing and, like, where these are shipping from and all that stuff and the operation. And there's, like, some really shady stuff, it seems like, happening where he's selling lots and lots of money's worth of, WATA graded games. The question goes to, like, is he getting a deal on these, gradings? Are the gradings inflated? Is he getting higher numbers than everybody else would get? Is he selling Atari stuff mainly because it's under the radar at the moment and he knows that? Does he have population reports that he can track to know exactly what stuff's worth and what's rare and what isn't? Like, so it's pretty, like,
is he
shady.
grading his games higher than other people's games so he gets a
Yeah,
better
that's what I was
price? Yeah,
saying. Yeah,
that's fucking shady as shit.
yeah.
This whole
And he
company
was
is shady, man. Like, it's
yeah,
just everything about him. Even when they were like advertising on Pawn Stars, like they brought in,
right.
like that even that was shady back in the day, and that was fucking 10 years ago, if not more.
Uh, the That was that 10 years ago? No,
Had
because
to be.
WATA
Had to
started,
be.
like, 3 years ago.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, it's, like, 3 or 4 years ago when WATA 2017, I think.
I'm just googling when they advertised on Pawn Stars. That was Wada. I'm positive.
Yeah, no, it was the dude. 2019, December.
Oh, really?
I was
What the
like
fuck?
like, more than 10 years ago, I was like, "Ah, I don't know about that."
what? What has happened to me?
Literally, like, the CEO or the main dude of WATA was the one who came on and talked about the grade and how much it's worth and all that
Unreal.
stuff. Yeah. And he
Unreal.
became,
I
like, an
can't believe I
expert
thought that was 10 years ago.
for other games too, I believe.
Maybe it was because I thought that Pawn Stars went off the air 10 years ago, but in actuality, I had just stopped watching them 10 years ago. So when
It's
I
like
saw a clip of Pawn Stars, I was like, it must have been 10 years ago
I'm
when they
pretty sure
stopped
Pawn
making that
Stars
show.
isn't that still going, Pawn Stars?
I didn't know that. I thought they were off the air like years and years ago.
Hold on, I gotta check that. Yeah, they're in their 18th season.
Oh my God.
It's
I had no
still
idea.
going.
I thought that show was like 4 seasons long.
18 seasons.
Okay. That
Yep.
explains that, I guess.
Yep. All right. So what are your it's just like, yeah, to summarize it, WADA, we don't have all the specific information obviously on everything, but it's obvious that there's some serious conflict of interest happening within that company.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
scary.
And heritage auctions.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want to do? You want to talk about some Lightning Force?
Yeah.
All right.
How far did you get?
Well, I beat it. I won
You
this
beat
video
it?
game tape. Yes.
What the heck? Did you use Game Genie or something?
No, man. If you go into the options of this game and you set your lives to 0, it doesn't give you 0 lives. It gives you 99 lives.
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I'd say I beat it.
Fuck! I was working on like 4 or 5 the whole time.
This game is fucking difficult, man. Like, it's hard game. You know how? Okay, so this is a side-scrolling. This is a side-scrolling shooter. In the vein of, I don't know, Gradius or something like that, or R-Type, right? I think it's notable because it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous-looking game. And there's this genius little feature right at the beginning where it lets you select the order of the first 4 stages you're going to play. And I can only assume that was put there so that most players will get to see more than one stage of this game. Because it's a hard-ass game, and it's very possible that you may never beat the first stage if you use like the regular 3 lives that you're given, right?
I'm so mad. Oh, fuck, I didn't know that. I looked up all the interesting facts and tidbits about this game. I read the manual. I knew there was a menu screen. I put it on easy mode.
Yeah.
And I still only got to the 3rd level.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good. I'd say that was pretty good too. I mean, this game is old school hard. Like I don't think that anybody who's really good at shooters is going to just like first try this game or even first try.
You have to know where everything's coming from. Otherwise you're fucked.
It is purely a memorization game. It's not like the bullet hell shooters we have now, where there is real skill in navigating your ship through the curtain of bullets that's coming down at you. This game is, this guy is going to do an attack, and you got to know when he's going to do an attack because you got to be in the top hand corner of the screen, or you got to be behind him when he does this because there's just no way you can react fast enough. That being said, I had a ton of fun playing this game. I thought it was really good.
It's really difficult.
It is really difficult.
If you get
I suggest using more lives.
if you get touched by a fly's left nut, you die.
You do.
Like,
and your ship is like every pixel of your ship is like damageable.
Yeah, and as soon as something touches it, you blow up.
Yeah,
and you lose if you have a good weapon on at the time. You lose that.
That is kind of the problem. I think that's the biggest problem with the game is that if you die, you lose the weapon that you're using, and you lose the power-ups. So you get to a point where if you're doing poorly enough in a level, you get to a point where the level feels basically unwinnable because you just don't have the firepower to get through it anymore, right? So, assuming that you're coming out of the last level with like a good power-up, which is not necessarily the case because the bosses are pretty tough in this game, but like you can be cruising through and then like, oh, I messed up, I touched something, and now I've got no power. And it's like even normal enemies are taking like a full second to kill, or 2 seconds to kill. Like it's tough, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, you know what I noticed in this game? The designers really like dicks.
Okay.
There's a lot of swinging dongs in this game. Like
everything like a swinging dong.
Everything looked like a big swinging dong. Like every enemy was like a snake, but it would like fling out like this.
Yeah.
Just like whack you, or it would throw 2 balls at you and then like fold up again, That
was common back in the day, right? Their way of doing animation was to make like balls that were sprites, but then the balls would move like articulation relative to each other. So like arms on the boss in Contra are like balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's common back in the day.
There was one where it was like a giant ball and then it would have just like a really stiff laser coming out like a hard wang, just all phallic to me. Just like, thanks for the dickin'. I appreciate it. I really needed that.
There's even one. There's one that has. You've got to get behind it because in this game you have multiple weapons that you can select between, and the 2 starting weapons are like double lasers frontward or 1 laser front and 1 laser backward, so you can shoot things that are behind you. And this guy isn't a boss; he's just like kind of like a mid-level enemy, but he looks like a dick and balls. And you got to get behind him and shoot him in the dick and like take away segments of the dick to get to the balls, and then the balls start shooting lasers at you.
Yep. Yep. They just like the one red laser, and then it goes. Whoa!
Yeah. I hadn't thought of this until you mentioned it, but now that you mentioned it, man, I'm not gonna be able to unsee it.
Literally every mini boss, I was like, that's another dick. So I tried playing it on normal, and I ended up getting to the second level, and I was like, man, this is really difficult. I'm gonna put it on easy. Easy didn't feel that much different because you still get one tapped by everything. I think there's just slightly less enemies. And I was also trying to figure out, why would you play it anything other than 100% power? Ever.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know why it's a weird thing to have the option of, right?
Slow yourself down, but everybody else still goes the same speed. Why
Yeah.
would you do that? If it's slowed everything down, I could see it because it gives you more time to process. But I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure everybody else is still fast.
Yeah, I believe that too. It's just you can adjust the speed of your ship. You can do it in game, but you can also adjust the starting level of your ship
Yeah.
in the options menu. So if you just want it to be 100% all the time, you can set it there in the options menu, and then when you're playing the game, you never have to touch. I think it was the C button that would adjust the speed.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, something like that. I think it might have been A to adjust
was it
speed
A?
and C for the power ups.
I
didn't.
had to change the layout of my controller for this game
Oh,
so that
yeah.
for me A was shoot, and then I had the mode button, like the right shoulder button on my controller, be the switch weapons. So I
Okay.
never had to move my thumb off of the fire button to select weapons. I could just kind of continuously be shooting, which luckily you can just hold the button down and it
Yeah.
auto fires for you. You don't have to just
nice.
be like tapping it forever, which
Yeah.
sucks on a controller for a long game. What'd you
So
think about it graphically?
Yeah. What are the things that, just succinctly, what are the things that you liked and disliked about it?
Well, I mean, right away it hits you in the jaw graphically. Like the first level, you can select the levels in any order that you want, or the first 4 levels you can select in any order you want. But the one that you're supposed to go to is
Top one.
Yeah, it's the top one, and it's notable because you can fly up and down, and the screen scrolls up and down when you fly up and down. In addition to the scrolling to the right, like it's always doing. But if you go up to the top of the screen, it's got like this real cool parallax, like clouds in the sky effect. And then if you go to the bottom of the screen, it's got another really cool effect where it's like the sea with like mist on the ocean and like rocks in the background. It's a really beautiful shooter stage, and it kind of just keeps going from there. Like they're not all as striking as that one, but they're all pretty good. And the enemy design, like a lot of it looks really good. They have a really good use of color, which is hit or miss on the Genesis, because the Genesis doesn't have as many on-screen colors available as like Super Nintendo games. So sometimes they can look a little not as like rich and detailed, but this one really looks nice. Like I'm really that's probably the thing I'm struck by the most. It also feels good to play. Like it's just got a good. The ship moves at the right speed. Yeah. Like the guns shoot are really satisfying. When you upgrade them, they're really satisfying. It's not too difficult to figure out like which things I got to get to upgrade my ship correctly, because that can be a problem in some shooters. It's just a fun game to play.
Any dislikes at all? Anything you wish would have been different?
The speed changing thing, I kind of agree with you. It's kind of superfluous. Other than that, no, I just really enjoyed it. Oh, the story is fucking complete baloney. Like, I read through the manual.
I read
and I was
the manual.
like, all right, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But then the ending, there's like an end cutscene at the end of it, which is impressive, but it doesn't make any fucking sense. And like it's referring to like people by proper names that I had never heard of before, so I had no context to what this was about.
Now I want to. Did you like have to use any continues with your 99 lives?
Oh yeah. I'd say
like
all
8 or 9
told,
stages?
I went through 270-ish lives because I continued twice, and I think I had about 30 lives left when I killed the last boss. I ran out of my first 99 lives on the 8th level, and it took me another 99 to get through the 8th and 9th level, and I died. I had to continue once I got to the 10th level, and then I used another 70 lives. The last boss is a bitch.
I want did you try just using, like, the 4 or 5 lives you
Oh,
get?
yeah, yeah.
Did
That's
you
when
beat the first level?
yeah, I did beat the first level, but I could not beat 2 levels in a row. My reactions, I think, are just not fast enough to react to some of that stuff, and I didn't really want to spend the time to memorize this game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's really what it would have taken. And I'll be honest with you, I play a lot of arcade shooters, especially on the Mister, especially Dodonpachi. Um, and what I like to do is just shove a ton of quarters in and just go for the ride. Like I don't really care if I, one life anything. I'm not going to get that good at one of these games because it's just going to be pure memorization, especially in Thunder Force or
Yeah.
Lightning Force in America.
Now I really wanna go back and do it with 99 lives, because like I said, I used I ended up going on easy mode, and it said that there was 5, 6 lives, but it was like 4, but, I remember getting a couple of, like, free lives, but I was able to get to the 3rd boss, and it's this just giant ship that comes in, and I couldn't figure out I was like, "Where the hell am I supposed to go? There's nowhere to
Yeah,
go. There's no space, like, I can't." And I just kept just dying because my ship would touch the thing that covered up 95% of the screen coming in. Um, but now I wanna go back because I did have a good time with it. I didn't
that
feel like I
boss
had
fight
enough
though,
lives.
I think is representative. Maybe that is something I don't like about it because that you have to memorize that boss fight because the way that ship moves, it'll just cut off access to entire areas of the screen, and if you're in the way, then you die. But if you
And then
don't
you
know which way
spawn
it's gonna
inside
go,
and then you spawn inside the ship. When
yeah,
it
so you got to
spawns you
get
back,
out
you're
of
like, "I
that.
got nowhere to go, dead again." Like,
You you spawn with like a couple of seconds of invincibility, but you got to get your ship out of danger before
Yeah,
like it stops flashing. And that's not something I love. Like I'd prefer a game that feels like if I was good, if I was like a good gamer, I could beat this first try just on
yeah.
reaction and skill alone. And I don't
Mhm.
think that's the case here.
No, you have to memorize. It's like pattern recognition, you gotta know
Yeah,
what the bosses are gonna do when and stuff. But
yeah,
I mean, it's typical of a lot of old games, like Castlevania was that way, to your point, stuff you had to memorize
100%.
all those things.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
I
how they did difficulty back then.
Yeah. I'm very critical of, like, any kind of media that I consume. I enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun. I still, if I had more time, would wanna go back with 5 lives, and because the main reason why it feels forgiving in a way is that when you die and you use the continue, you start at the level that you were on, not the
Yeah,
entire game.
yeah.
But if you use all 5 of your continues or whatever, then you're fucked. But, um
Well, that's 500 lives. Who's ever gonna get through that?
for me, it was like 20. So, uh I do wanna go back and do it with 99 lives just to experience it because I had a good time with it.
Yeah,
Like you said, movement was really fluid, like, it felt really responsive. The
yeah.
parts
The way
of
your
the
ship
parallax
tips, like it's really
Yeah,
cool.
parts of the parallax scrolling were difficult because if you didn't know what was coming above, maybe there was a power up you missed or down below or free live or whatever,
That's
like,
true.
you kinda
Sometimes
'cause you
the background could be so detailed that you'd miss stuff that was going on the screen too, like
yeah.
bullets coming at you or something.
There's the second world boss that was like the bird face with the balls spinning around it.
Yeah,
Um, if you were shooting it, yeah, and the clouds behind it, and he would shoot rockets, and sometimes you couldn't see the rockets when they were coming at you until they hit you because they blended in with the clouds behind it, and then they'd have like the little like red things flying around at you.
yeah.
Um, that boss was difficult for me to beat once I beat him because it was a long fight. I wish that there was more representation of you actually damaging those mini bosses because you're just like shooting forever and it's not doing the obvious like flashing that like a boss in that scenario would do.
It
It's just
does
like,
change the explosion color though, right? Like if you're shooting something, it does like the explosions are blue, but if you're hitting them kind of in their crit spot, the explosions turn like red. So that kind
it
of
seemed
tells you that you're doing more damage.
it seemed unclear. I wasn't 100%. I just felt like there could have been a little bit more visual representation that I'm hitting the right spot. Um,
Yeah,
Because that one bird boss, I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to shoot. I think I'm supposed to shoot these balls because it seems like they're flashing, but I'm not sure. And then I die, and I was like, okay, well, I don't know. Um, They take a lot of bullets, those bosses, too.
Yeah, especially if you're not powered up. I think that's why it's so important to be powered up.
Yeah.
Like, you lose a life, you almost want to, like, restart, like,
Right.
at the beginning of the level. So, because most of the power-ups come at the beginning of the level, too.
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting many of them during the level.
Right. Yeah, controls felt good. The power-ups did feel good. Overall, everything felt good, but yeah, you definitely have to memorize stuff if you're not using 99 lives. Um, but as everybody says, all the reviews are really high of this game, and I would agree with it.
Yeah, it's
M-
badass. It's just a badass video game.
The music was really good too.
Yes. Yes.
There's one I can't remember if it was the first boss or the second boss, but there was some music that reminded me of Birdo from Super Mario 2. It was like I was like, I feel like I'm about to fight the bird from
And jump on the
the
egg.
one pick up the egg, throw it at him. It's just that music is very I don't know. Do you know what music I'm talking about? Because I would hear it all the time because I sucked at that boss for a long time when I was
Yeah,
a kid.
I know exactly what music you're talking about.
Um, this game it is available on the Switch, by the way, for
Oh, I
anybody
didn't
who's
know
out
that.
there. It came out in 2018. I imagine it's a digital release. It was also released on the Sega Saturn in 96, which is the content I believe they use on the Switch is because it's a little bit better as far as performance and graphics and stuff. So I kind of want to go and check that out.
Yeah.
Um, there was a region lock chip on the Mega Drive apparently that was way more sophisticated in the Japanese and European Mega Drives. Like you couldn't use it with an adapter like you could with some games, but apparently a Game Genie would allow you to do it. So you could use like a Japanese cart on a Game Genie to play. Um, and also, there wasn't a whole lot of facts that I found out about this game, but it's one of the few games in PAL, that used the correct frame speed. Thought that
Really?
was kind of interesting. Yeah, a lot of them don't.
I'm trying to find video of the Sega Saturn version to see if it looks any different, but it looks the same, I think. It would have been nice if it was like an enhanced version
Yeah.
somehow. But I don't know. What are they going to do to it, really? Yeah, that
Any
PAL
other?
conversion stuff was a nightmare. Like, so many of the games over there ran at like slower speed because, their TVs were weird.
Mhm.
I don't know. I really like this game. Like, I think this was a really fun one to play. You have a copy, right? You have a complete copy,
Physical
and
copy, complete copy. It's the
so
picture
it's
that you used.
yeah, it's Lightning Force in the U.S., but it's Thunder Force 4 in Japan and the EU. But I kind of like I don't understand why they changed the name. Maybe it was licensing or something. Maybe something else had Thunder Force. Like licensing, so they had to change it. But like I kind of like the art and stuff they did for the American release. I think it looks cool.
And it's got that stereotypical, like, gridded background.
Yeah,
Funny thing is about this game, I'm pretty sure I've had this in my closet in my collection for, like, 5 or 6 years now,
yeah.
and
You said
I
it's
had
worth
never
what?
played it.
Never
I had
played it.
never had never played it because I mean, I don't have a lot of Genesis games. I only have, like, I don't know, 20 or 30,
Yeah.
and,
Well, that's a good one. You
I know,
picked a
like,
good one.
yeah, I have some solid ones for sure, but I just thought it was funny. Like, games like this are usually that I got in, like, big lots, and I'm just like, "Oh, yeah, that's in good condition. It looks like it's pretty rare. I'll keep it. Sure, why not?" And, yeah, it's a fairly expensive it's like $60 for the cart, and yeah, so
I mean, like you said, like $100 for it in the box.
I looked at it, apparently it's like 140 now, so I don't know.
Oh wow,
Last I remember, it was about 100. But yeah,
it's not crazy.
that's not crazy.
you know,
I mean, it's
it's a
expensive for
cool
a
game.
Genesis game. The
Yeah,
Genesis games, I was saying to Briar earlier that Genesis games have not spiked the way that Nintendo games have, like, at all. So,
thank God.
yeah.
So no pickups this week either, right?
0.
Neither one of us got any pickups. I mean, nobody's surprised that I didn't get any.
not one. It's
I
just weird.
I didn't
Like,
even bother looking for Thunder Force 4 because I like to get the games that we're gonna play on the show, like have a physical representation of them. But I didn't even look for it this time. I'm not sure why. So I played it on the Mister, and the Mister, I mean, it performed flawlessly. There was slowdown in this game. Did you notice a lot of slowdown in this game?
yes,
Yeah,
and
that
it
was kind of
helped
a bummer.
actually. It it was a
Yeah, that's
bummer,
true.
but it helped because like,
It's
I
like
have
a
more
slow
time
mo
to
button.
see what's going on. Yeah. Can we do half the frames, please? That'll be helpful. I need to see shit before it happens.
I run this game on an NES.
It happened with UN Squadron 2 when we played that game.
Yeah,
Because I was like, I can actually see what's going on because it's slower.
that's another beloved game, another beloved side-scrolling shooter that we reviewed. I don't know, probably 6 months ago, at least by now.
Yeah.
But man, I did not get along with that game as much as I got along with this game. I
Yeah.
really was having
'Cause
fun.
you didn't
with
have
this one.
99 lives.
That might have been it. Oh, you can't cheat at this? What am I gonna do?
It's like Contra, man. Like,
Oh yeah, the 99 life code.
and I still die on like the 5th level.
Yeah. Well, this is the game that I picked, and I think I did a fantastic job. So Jay,
Yeah.
you're gonna pick next week's game. What are you gonna pick?
So I'm gonna give you an option.
Oh, okay.
You have to pick number 1 or number 2.
Oh wait, I don't
One
get to
of
know what they
them
are.
you're gonna be very angry about. And the other one is a really good kind of hidden gem type game.
So first, I've got to try and predict. Do you want me to pick the one I'm going to be angry about, or the one that I'm going to be happy about?
I think
I
either
don't
one
know.
would be fun.
You're not going to tell me which ones they are, and I can just pick the one I want to play. That would
It'd
be too easy. All right, I go with number 1.
You chose correct.
All right.
Vice Project Doom for the NES.
Fuck yeah.
So this is one of those games. It starts out as like a side scroller action adventure type game, but it's got like different play styles, and it's like a well reviewed game. It's kind of a hidden gem. It's not the most expensive game. I think it's like, I don't know, probably like $40 for a cart. So it's not ridiculously expensive.
I think
But
I own it.
do you?
I think so. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Have you played it?
Yeah. Not
Like
a lot.
50
I haven't beaten it though. I haven't played a bunch of it. I think I got the cart. The cart is, I believe, if I'm thinking of the game, I think it's kind of hammered. So I cleaned it up and played it just enough to like play it for like, half an hour or something, and then I just never got back to it. But this game was fun. This game's cool.
Yeah. Do you want to know
despite
what the
that
other
cover
one was?
art. Yeah, I do. Oh, you son of a bitch.
For those who are not watching the YouTube video, Battletoads was number 2. Because I told him, I'm like, we're eventually gonna play it, and you're gonna
Oh
hate
my
me.
god. Battletoads.
Contra
Yeah.
should be on our list eventually at some point too. I feel like
100%. 100%. But I'm actually, Vice Project Doom is a cool game, and I don't feel like it's like a super popular game too. So it'll be fun talking about this one. So if you want to play along with us, in 2 weeks we'll be talking about Vice Project Doom. You can share your thoughts with us, and we'll be playing that over the next 2 weeks. Although I gotta say, with Lightning Force, I played it. I think I might have played it the night we talked about it, right? Like while I was like editing podcasts and stuff, I might have booted it up on the Mister and like started playing it right then. But then, and I got to like level 2, and it took me like a couple hours. I don't think I played it again until yesterday. And then I did the research on it, and I put like 4 hours into it, and I was like, this game is awesome.
with 99 lives. Yeah,
99 lives helps, man. I don't know.
I still enjoyed it, and I was hurting bad.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to see all of it too, like
yeah.
it was a cool game. So Vice Project Doom next week. What will you be up for the next 2 weeks? For the next 2 weeks.
Theo going to kindergarten is probably going to encompass most of my energy. I don't even know. As far as on stream, Destiny has been the spot, man. crossplay coming back, or crossplay coming, and a lot of people that I haven't seen in years coming back to the game.
They're killing it.
Um, it's
Bungie's
just a
killing it right now.
it's a good feeling. Yeah. Dead game though.
I was really concerned about Destiny after they broke from Activision, because I just didn't know like what direction that game was going to take. And I feel like we're now seeing the fruit of that effort, like that design change, and like they had a big management change at Bungie as well. And man, the new direction they're taking and the content they're providing, I think is phenomenal. Like it really is. They're doing a great job.
Still
I
need
haven't been
more
this
vault
excited
space,
about
but
Destiny in a couple of years.
yeah. How are you enjoying Warlock?
I really like Devour. Devour's a fun class to play. Aside from the smell, I'm really enjoying it.
Smells like green tea. What do you mean? Green tea and lavender. That's my Warlock smell. All right. So yeah, you can find us 5 nights a week during the week at twitch.tv/JSniperton. You can also find me on Twitter at JSniperton. And also don't forget to follow the RetroSlot podcast Twitter. Probably going to be starting to post more retro pictures on Instagram and the RetroSlot podcast Twitter as opposed to my own account. Um, Potentially just general retro stuff to have some fun. I got lots of stuff to talk about. So, um,
The picture that I posted, I put up on the beginning of this podcast. So if you saw that picture at the beginning of the podcast, or that RetroSlot tweeted, I think it was a couple of days ago, you tweeted that picture of Lightning Force, the box, the manual, and the cartridge kind of laid out. That was a nice picture, man.
thank you.
So if you post more stuff like that, I'm into it.
Nice.
I think it's really nice.
How about you, Briar? Where can we find you?
On Thursday, we'll be back with the DCP podcast, which we're really excited about. We're all like everybody on that podcast is kind of like except for Watts. She never lost her like super like in depth like love for Destiny, but me and Pope Bear, me and Tefty have really been enjoying this season. We really enjoyed last season as well. I think changing up our classes too is we had just vaulted to Hunter for so long. Changing up our classes has just kind of like changed the way we play a little bit enough that it's been fun. So we're really excited for that. Actually, yesterday on SideQuest, we had the developer for a really cool game called Song of Iron on, and we talked to him for an hour. That was an awesome podcast. So if you haven't listened to that, check it out. Other than that, golf.
You have to go watch Robin Williams on Broadway.
I will.
Anybody that hasn't,
it's an open YouTube video right now.
Got it. Oh my god, it's long. It's like an hour and a half. It's like a movie, basically his stand up. But oh my god, the whole thing is amazing.
All right, guys. Thanks all for listening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.